So, it's been over 2 years since we first got our hands on the Boya PM500. Back then, it felt like a promising budget mic, sleek, versatile, and way cheaper than a Blue Yeti. Fast forward to today, and after using it for podcasts, streams, voiceovers, and the occasional Zoom call, we figured it's time to give you the real long-term verdict. Is the Boya PM500 still the best budget USB mic out there? Or has time exposed its flaws? In this video, we're going to answer that by going over how it held up, what we loved, what we didn't, and whether it's still worth your money in 2025. Let's start with the durability because, yes, we've dropped it. Twice. And once it took a slow-motion fall straight off a boom arm. But despite all that, the mic still feels solid with just a few scratches. Here, take a look. The body is a mix of metal and hard plastic, and it hasn't loosened or cracked anywhere. The buttons still click, the dial still turns, we'll get to that in a bit, and the USB-C port hasn't wobbled or gotten finicky like some other budget mics tend to. So yeah, in terms of build and physical longevity, this thing earns a solid 9 out of 10 from us. Now let's talk about day-to-day usability because when you've used a mic for this long, tiny annoyances become more noticeable. On the front, you've got a single dial that doubles as your headphone volume control and a mute button when pressed. Below that, there's a button for switching between cardioid and omnidirectional pickup patterns. So what's good? The button layout is simple, clean, and easy to access, even mid-recording. And that LED ring around the dial helps you quickly check if the mic's muted or not. But here's where things get a bit annoying. The volume dial spins endlessly. No physical endpoints, so if you're adjusting while recording, you have no clue if you're maxed out or muted unless you're constantly checking your software. The mute button makes a click that actually gets picked up in recordings. Here, listen to this. Yep, not the end of the world, but definitely not stealthy if you're live. Also, there's no way to dim or disable the LED light, so if you're recording in a low-light setup, it might distract you more than you'd expect. Let's get into what really matters: audio quality. We've used the PM500 for everything from narration to live calls, and while our setup has evolved, this mic still holds its own. Let's do a quick live demo. Right now, we're recording this segment using the Boya PM500 in cardioid mode, plugged directly into a laptop via USB-C, and we're monitoring through the headphone jack. No processing, no effects added. This is the Boya PM500 in cardioid mode, recording from around 15 to 20 centimeters away. No filters, no processing. You can hear the clarity, especially when you're close to it. It has this slightly warm character that works well for vocals, especially spoken word. But what happens when you back away? Now I'm about 2 feet away. You'll notice the sound gets thinner, less detailed. So, like most condenser mics, proximity matters. Use it close up for best results. Now let's switch to omnidirectional mode. This is omnidirectional mode. You'll notice it picks up more of the room and background sounds. Great for a 2-person chat, but not ideal if you're in a noisy space. Back to cardioid. Cardioid mode is what we used 95% of the time. It cuts out keyboard noise, fans, even some echo, though if you're in a totally untreated room, you'll still get a bit of reverb. We've used the Boya PM500 in all kinds of setups. For live streams, it's worked reliably on OBS, Streamlabs, Discord, and Zoom. The plug-and-play experience is still smooth, and you don't need any special drivers or third-party software. Just plug it in, select it as your input, and go. For voiceovers, we've used it in Audacity and DaVinci Resolve. The mic picks up enough depth that you can get professional-sounding audio with a little EQ and compression. And in quiet environments, you may not need to clean it up at all. We've also tested it with phones. Plugged into an Android via the USB-C cable, it works right away with native recording apps and even Facebook Live. That said, the audio quality noticeably drops compared to desktop setups. Here's a clip we recorded directly into a phone using the stock recorder. Testing the Boya PM500 with an Android phone, cardioid mode, 20 centimeters away from the mic. It's okay for casual use or emergency recordings, but if you're aiming for high-quality audio, you'll want to stick to a proper computer setup. The phone option is convenient, but not something we'd recommend for serious content. The one thing we still don't love? The included stand. Yes, it's sturdy. Yes, it holds the mic firmly. But if you leave it on your desk, every keyboard tap, mouse click, and elbow bump travels straight into your recordings. Here, watch what happens when we type. That rumble? That's the desk noise being picked up through the stand. It's not ideal, especially for live streams or screen recordings. Another thing is the height, or lack of it. The stand just isn't tall enough to position the mic at a natural speaking level. So you either end up leaning forward during recordings or having to pull the mic really close to your mouth, which isn't always comfortable or practical, especially if you're on camera. That said, it's still good to have the stand as an option, especially for quick setups or portable use. It gets the job done in a pinch, but if you're using the mic regularly, you'll want something better. So, is the Boya PM500 still the best budget USB mic in 2025? Honestly, for the price, it's hard to beat. If you're a beginner content creator, casual streamer, or even someone looking to upgrade from a headset mic or built-in laptop mic, this is still a solid, reliable choice. It sounds good, it feels premium, and most importantly, it just works. Even after 2 years, we trust this mic when we need a quick, no-fuss recording. But if you're already deep into content creation and looking for something with richer audio detail or more control options, you might want to look at the next tier up. For us, the Boya PM500 did exactly what we needed it to. And while we've added other mics to our setup, this one still has a spot on our desk, and that says a lot.